What do you hope to change? Like, I mean, not just leaving us in the dark, but what other things do you want to change about this conversation now that we're taking the filter off?
You know, I'm doing it for my younger friends, I'm doing it for my niece, and I'm doing it for my daughter.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this now. We need to have support on menopause and perimenopause, especially perimenopause, because everybody knows menopause is your period stops, but it's just more than that. We need to have this available for future generations. It's like the legacy. Like, my mom didn't tell me about my period. I was with my dad in Hastings, Nebraska, in a bathroom at the Hastings Museum. I got my period and I did not know what was happening to me, and a stranger had to tell me. So I knew when I had a daughter and she was old enough to understand, she was gonna know about her period and she was gonna be prepared. So Darlene is joining me, and Darlene was the person that gave me the nickname Frank.
I sure did, yes.
Do you want to give like the 30-second spiel on Frank?
Well, I think it started when we started working together in this office, and you would give feedback to me or to clients very directly. And I was so much more of a, let's dance around the issue and like flowery and floaty. And Shannon just cuts right to it. And like at some point I just said, you're just frank, like you're just direct. And so then that nickname kind of stuck. And I mean it with all the love and in a good way. She's helped me be more direct. So
I have never thought it was bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
We love Frank.
But there's also Francis. Francis is a little softer.
Yes, and maybe that's my influence on you. So I don't know, like, I think now at this point, we can both be Frank or Francis. It just depends on who we are that day. I love that you're starting this podcast, and I love the name. I want to know, what was the moment that made you realize that Over 50 and Frank really needed to exist?
It was a lot of things. I feel like nobody really is talking about menopause, especially perimenopause. There's this whole gold rush right now around perimenopause and menopause, and I really think it goes back to Generation X is just done with, they want to be seen and heard, and not seen but not heard, because I feel like it's a whole generation of, you know, grandparents and parents just didn't want us opening our mouths, and also just kind of being dismissed for years, you know, being told, oh, you have anxiety, your hip pain is just exercise overuse, or that's not hot flashes, you know, or not being able to sleep and like waking up at 3 a.m. I just started to feel like nobody was really talking about it. And I had so many doctors dismiss me, but I had so many doctors who were just like throwing spaghetti. Like, oh, let's try progesterone. Or tell me like, HRT is bad for you. You can't do HRT. When I started seeing, you know, menopause doctors on TikTok and Instagram saying like, no, it's not bad for you. Like, that is a study from years ago that was actually wrong. I also would sit down with friends, and you've probably witnessed this, where we just started like talking about our symptoms, and it turns out it was like, it's perimenopause. And just going out with friends, having dinner dates, craft afternoons. We have this thing where we craft things sometimes, and we bring a craft project, and everybody just, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. Oh my goodness, I can't figure out what's wrong. Like, why don't I have a sex drive? Like, these are conversations that we've been having, and I'm just like, why aren't people talking about this?
Yeah.
And I'm also like a chronic oversharer, so.
Yeah, I mean, we both are, so it's fine. When you went and, you know, kind of talked to your doctor like early on, and they kind of dismissed you or gaslit you or whatever, do you think that's why maybe like you or other women kind of assume that like something else is happening and it can't be this? Like, is there a reason why women are like assuming that their bodies are like broken or there's something else going on instead of it being like hormonal?
I just remember being 40 and waking up feeling like my heart was pounding out of my chest, and I was like, something is wrong. And I went to the emergency room, and they were like, no, it's just anxiety. And granted, I was kind of going through, it really wasn't that stressful. I was going through a transition with my work where like one owner was leaving and a new owner was coming in, and it was the best possible scenario. Like, I got to keep my job, and the new bosses were inviting. The doctors were just like, it's just stress. It's just stress. Like, it's anxiety. I'm like, no, this cannot be anxiety, because I never have felt this way ever in my life. And it was like the year I turned 40. The year I turned 40, also, like, I have vitiligo up here on my forehead, and that popped out. I saw my first gray hairs. I mean, I didn't have the night sweats, but I was also having hip pain at that time too, which was mysterious. Like, people didn't know what was going on. Like, why was I having all this hip pain? And it just turned out that and shoulder pain are like one of the symptoms of perimenopause.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
doctors would say, like, oh, you're fine. Like, my period was normal, and oh, you're fine. Like, nothing's wrong. Like, I did a hormone test and your hormones are fine. And like, what I found out now was like those hormone tests are horribly inaccurate. I even did the one where you pee on the strips like several times a day, the Dutch test, and it did come back like my progesterone was low, my estrogen was low, my testosterone was low, and the doctor, she was like, let's get you like a testosterone pellet. And then I went and did research, so that wasn't a good idea to do. You know, they're just like 10 years ago, like we're talking 11 years ago, weren't a lot of things, the tools the doctors had. Then things started happening, like my period started getting weird. It would go, I mean, I still have the tracking in my phone where it would be like 60 days, 45 days, 20 days, and it was just like all over the place. And it just was like, something's wrong. And they were like, oh, you're nowhere near perimenopause age. Well, it turns out perimenopause starts at 37, and guess what I did at 37 years old? Had a baby. So.
Oh, yeah. So I also did, well, I had my second baby at 36, and I think you told me that kind of like can mask perimenopause a little bit because your hormones are just baby making. Yeah. Your symptoms started obviously then when you were done being pregnant, but what, you said you were about 40?
I was 40 because I had turned 40 the month before. So my 40th birthday, I had the flu. I thought my husband threw a party for me, and I thought that I was hungover. But 3 days in, I was like, this isn't a hangover. And so it was like literally like 2 or 3 weeks later, I ended up I just remember it so well, like my heart was coming like pounding out of my chest, and they were just like, lay off on the coffee.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, lay off the coffee and here's some Xanax.
Wow.
I think that was when I got my propranolol. It was either Xanax or propranolol.
Yeah.
It was like, here's some propranolol. Just
Yeah.
take that and you'll just feel better. I'm like, okay. So I learned at 40, like if I don't watch my diet or exercise, I am a mess. Like right now, I haven't worked out literally since before Christmas, and I am just not sleeping the greatest. I'm stressed out, and if I don't have that component in my life, I put it back in. It's just also winter time, and who wants to walk in the snow?
Yeah.
Or run in the snow?
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard in the winter. Why do you think that so many women are told that they're too young? Like you had these symptoms, you went into the doctor, and they were kind of telling you it was like all these other things. And do you think it was based on like your age, or were they basing it on the hormone tests, or was it both? And they just said like, oh, you can't be, going through this? So
what I have seen and heard is that a lot of GYNs are trained in babies, the obstetrics part, and prevention and, conceiving, and the menopause part is something because of, they used to give people HRT in the 90s. And then a study came out that said it was bad. And so my guess is maybe the doctors didn't get like the best training in it. And now they're coming out saying perimenopause starts way earlier than they thought. So it used to be like they thought it was like your mid 40s. Now they're saying with research, and there needs to be more research, that it's usually your late 30s you start to have that estrogen or your eggs decline. And so with that is kind of what I assume why it's not something highly talked about. However, I was talking so I went to menopause.org, and I was listening to a lot of Dr. Mary Claire Haver, and she was saying if you want a menopause specialist, you want to go to menopause.org and find a doctor on that list because they have gone through special training. They know what to look for. They know how to prescribe HRT. And HRT is a science because you have to balance the estrogen and the progesterone, and you can add on testosterone. Testosterone was making my hair fall out, so I stopped taking it. So I don't have that component. It was the least of the three that I needed, or that most women, that's the one that you have to do two together so they balance out. You just can't take one. I had one doctor give me these progesterone lozenges when I was 45 because she said you're in perimenopause. Like she was the functional medicine doctor, but she didn't balanced the estrogen out. And so that just made my whole system go haywire. It was like I was bleeding all the time.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I know that you also have like, you've been documenting this journey that you've gone on like with GLP-1s. And so I kind of want to know like, how do these two things for you tie together? Because I know too, you are planning on talking about that on your podcast. So talk to me a little bit about weight, about hormones, and like, how did that come together for you?
So when I had my daughter, I was 37, and when I was 38, I wanted to get healthy, and so I lost 30 pounds over 6 months, having like 2 shakes a day and like a sensible meal, which it was manageable. I got used to it. My body got used to it. And I lost 30 pounds, and then I kind of went into maintenance, and I didn't gain it back right away. I gained it back slowly over 4 years. And then when I tried to, so I was like, 38. So I was 44. And ever since I was 44, I was trying everything to lose weight. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And when I got that high blood pressure diagnosis, I really got scared because I want to be here for my kids and my husband, and I have a business and clients, and I did not want to check out at 44. So I tried everything. I tried keto. I tried the South Beach diet. I counted my calories. I ran. I lifted. I did everything. I loved it. Exercise isn't a problem for me. Just when it's cold outside, it seems to be a problem. But I just was done. I was just I don't know what to do. And then I was on TikTok, and somebody was saying can't lose weight in your 40s. It's perimenopause. And I was like, duh. And then that's when, right about that time, GLP-1s started. There was the wild, wild west. Nobody was really doing them. Wegovy and Ozempic were new to the market. And I had a consultation to possibly start compounded semaglutide. And I didn't do it because it was $500 a month. And I was like, wow, this is insane. This is really insane. $500 a month for weight loss meds? You've got to be kidding. And everybody was saying everybody on all over TikTok, everybody by that, influencers and people making TikToks were just this is a miracle. And I didn't believe it was going to work. I was like, this isn't going to work. I've tried everything. I'm done trying everything to lose weight. And I know I can lose weight because I lost weight, but doing what I used to do wasn't working. So I saw that Eli Lilly had a coupon code for Mounjaro for anybody. So at the time, Mounjaro was the second GLP-1 that was on the market. It had just come out, and they were enticing people with these coupons, and you didn't have to have type 2 diabetes. So I signed up and somehow got the savings card for 10 months. And in that 10 months, I lost, I think it was 30 pounds on the brand name drug. And then I switched to the compounded drug. And I feel that a lot of women in their 40s could benefit from GLP-1s. In the beginning, there was a huge stigma about it. Now it seems like everybody wants to do it. How do I get a GLP-1? You have to have a BMI of a certain BMI. Everybody wants to take it. Later on in the episodes, we talked to Dr. Myra Ahmed from Mochi Health, and she's just this is just another tool. GLP-1s are another tool to HRT, and they kind of go hand in hand together because they help women whose metabolisms slow down in their 40s not gain weight, or it helps you lose the weight and keep it off.
Stupid question. Is a symptom of perimenopause a slower metabolism then? Does that always, do you see that very commonly with women going
I'm not a doctor, but
yeah, I know.
All of our friends talk about that. I've gained, friends that I've had for 15 years are slowly gaining weight. And one of the things that I definitely have noticed in my 40s is I'm just not hungry. I'm never hungry. I just eat because I'm bored. And the food noise was constantly there. What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for dinner? The second I'd eat breakfast, it'd be oh, what's lunch? Oh, and then that second I would eat lunch, it was what's my snack? And then what's for dinner? And then what's for my late night sweet treat? That was literally my life, but I wasn't ever hungry. Now I take compounded tirzepatide. Now it's it's gone. I don't really care. I don't care what I have for snacks or lunch, or I basically meal prep so my family has something to eat, but basically that's it. I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
It was a constant loop of I was thinking about things.
Oh, that's really interesting.
It turns the alcohol loop off too.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that noise with alcohol, but I guess it totally makes sense with food. Yeah, and it could be with a lot of things, right? But yeah, so that's really interesting. interesting. What other symptoms would you say are maybe not as common, or just like ones you've heard about in conversations? Like, what do you always kind of like to tell people, like, hey, this is a symptom, didn't you know?
I have to go and I saved it on my phone. I meant to pull this up before we started. On my phone, I found this graphic of all the symptoms of menopause. Probably can't see that. But
yeah, like, but a lot.
All right, so here's your symptoms of menopause, and there's a lot. Hot flashes, night sweats, irregular periods, vaginal dryness. We got to come back to that one. Even though that's kind of like taboo to talk about. Loss of libido, mood changes, sleep problems, fatigue, memory lapses, like walking into a room and being like, why did I walk in here? Joint pain, headaches, weight gain, bloating, thinning hair. This is one that like we will talk about, thinning hair thing. And finally I started taking oral minoxidil along with doing a whole bunch of other things, and I have hair.
Nice.
You can't see this on the audio, but I have hair growing like back. Hair growing back finally. I used to have, even though my hair is baby fine, like I had a lot of it. So I'm doing things like, you see my hair crimped because I'm not having the best hair day. Breast pain, itchy skin. Can you believe this is still going on? Burning mouth, anxiety, depression, ADHD, digestive issues, dizziness, electric shocks, muscle tension, burning tongue, tingling extremities. So I'm having the tingling extremities one.
Oh, yeah.
Like the restless leg.
Yes.
Allergies, body odor changes, gum problems, osteoporosis, irregular heartbeat.
Yes.
Stress incontinent, itchy ears. I have not had the itchy ears thing, but I've had the itchy scalp. So I heard a hack for the itchy ears is putting Flonase on a Q-tip and putting it in your ear. Panic attacks, dry eye. The symptoms of menopause.
That's so crazy. Like, so many of those could be something else. And, you know, commercials and like ads for like, oh, restless leg syndrome, and like, oh, hair loss and blah, blah, blah. And it just seems like everybody's treating the symptom and they're not looking at like the underlying cause, which is you are in a new phase of your body and you need to address like the hormonal changes that are happening. Otherwise, all of these things are just, you're just putting a Band-Aid on it. Yeah.
Like the vaginal dryness.
Tell me about it.
I mean, without being too graphic, you know, that's not the, you know, the point is to have honest conversations, but also tasteful conversations about it. But the second that I got the vaginal estrogen, I was like, whoa, like, I guess like I just kind of got used to it. And then it's like, you have the low libido, and then your partner is like, I don't understand what's going on. We'll like put low libido and the dryness together, and it's just like a recipe for just, you know,
for no
you
thank
feel like
you.
you're shriveling and dying. You're shriveling up and dying.
Yeah, it's a recipe for no thanks, hun. Go away. Like, not gonna happen. And it's interesting because like these are things that I've experienced but am not currently experiencing.
Well,
because
you're 42, 43.
I'm 42, and I've made like other, like I quit alcohol a while ago, and like that kind of like changed. By the way, alcohol affects your hormones, for those of you who don't know, in a big way. So that like changed my libido and dryness. So now I'm just like, okay, now I know like what to watch for though, because it is so individual. Like I've learned this from you and from my own doctor. Like those symptoms, you may not have all of them, you may have a handful of them, and you may have like one that is sticking out and like consistent, like the hot flashes or like the periods, you know, the like,
or the like stop drinking coffee because your heart's racing. Like, oh, your heart racing is like one of the things. And one of the main reasons why I want to do this and why I talk about it is because of you, because of the Darlene that are 10 years younger. Like, we don't want to leave the Darlenes in the dark. We don't want to leave the Allisons in the dark. I'm trying to think of my friends that are like that early 40s. The Joys. We don't want to leave the Joys, the Darlenes, and the Allies. Celeste in the dark. They need to know this. Like, why did our mothers not talk about this? Why did our grandmothers not talk about this? I don't have my grandma and my mom to ask, but I asked my aunt, and she was like, just one day my period stopped. I had no symptoms. I'm like, great. That's not happening for me.
Not helpful.
Not helpful.
Yeah, I remember when my mom went through this and she didn't really talk about it a lot. It was like, yeah, I have hot flashes, or like I have night sweats. And then we kind of had the joke in our house of like when she was moody, she would get a different nickname. They'd call her like, I think my stepdad would call her Myrtle or something. Be like, oh, or like Marge or something like that. It's like, oh, so-and-so is like, it's kind of like Frank. It's like, oh, It's the other woman who's out today, but like it wasn't ever talked about in this, like that it could look so different and that it can happen, you know, early or late or whatever, like different for every woman. And so what do you hope to change? Like, I mean, not just leaving us in the dark, but what other things do you want to change about this conversation now that we're taking the filter off?
You know, I'm doing it for my younger friends, I'm doing it for my niece, and I'm doing it for my daughter.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this now. We need to have support on menopause and perimenopause, especially perimenopause, because everybody knows menopause is your period stops, but it's just more than that. We need to have this available for future generations. It's like the legacy. Like, my mom didn't tell me about my period. I was with my dad in Hastings, Nebraska, in a bathroom at the Hastings Museum. I got my period and I did not know what was happening to me, and a stranger had to tell me. And so I knew when I had a daughter and she was old enough to understand, she was going to know about her period and she was going to be prepared. I bought the kit. If you haven't seen it, there's like a kit you can buy, your kiddos. Like, so they're prepared. Like, I just wanted her to be prepared. Like, you know, it's kind of like when you have a baby and all the things nobody told you, like you're going to bleed for 6 weeks. Nobody tells you that.
Yeah.
Like, I have to do what? I have to wear a pad for? No way. Like, you know, my friend just had plastic surgery and she's doing this whole series on things they don't tell you that you will, I mean, feel like Gen X and elder millennials, even millennials, like they want other people prepared for.
Yeah, we do.
What's going to happen in life.
Yeah, we really do. I feel like the talking about it like really alleviates that confusion, that missing the thing that could help you with all of these symptoms, and just with like the brain fog and the memory and all those things of like basic functioning that really impact your life. And like some of that, going back to like your period story, like I don't want to say shame, but kind of like with the vaginal dryness and like the low libido and stuff, like there's a lot of like, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about some of those things, but by talking about it, it takes that away and it normalizes it. And it's like, no, we don't have to be nervous or scared to tell other women like what we're going through, and just be, you know, more open about it, because that's how you get help.
Yeah, well, we were hiking this summer. There was a group of women. We were hiking, and on our hike, somebody started talking about, like, they were just like, hey, I have a question. Like, is testosterone and the estrogen and the progesterone helping you with your sex drive? And I was like, yeah, it helps. It definitely helps with that. And they're like, oh, good, because I've been dealing with that. And they're about the same age. And then another person heard, and then another person heard, and another person heard. And out of all the women, except one, they were just like, I'm in the same boat. I'm glad we're talking about this. And our conversation climbing up the, you know, butte was all about this. And this is when I was like, this is why we need to be talking about it. There's other things that happen as you get older. So as an over 50 content creator, there are so many products now geared towards women that I get access to. There never used to be women over 50 content creators. In fact, like being over 50, we're going to talk to my friend Mariel, who lost her job a few episodes down from here. There was this shame, like you're old if you're 50. And like 50 is the new 30. Like we're not old. Like, we don't look like, 50-year-olds now don't look like 50-year-olds in the 80s. Like, have you seen those, like, memes? Like, this is, you know, the Golden Girls were, like, the women, the Golden Girls were in their 50s when that show was produced.
Easy. It's like, what are we doing?
No, 50 is the new 30. Like, 50 is, like, when I started my own business, life got better for me. But I feel like life just keeps getting better and better and better and better. But now I'm heading towards empty nest, and I'm 4 years away from that, and I'm terrified.
Yeah. It'll be a new phase. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show.
We are talking about, yes, it's on the list. But like, I can't believe that I have a career as a over 50 content creator, because 10 years ago, that wasn't, people that are over 50 don't get on social media or have podcasts, or it's all the young people because it's a young technology. Well, nope. Not anymore.
No, that's I think breaking down that ageism too. Like I'm 40 and I feel like life keeps getting better. Same thing. I think that as we get older, especially, I don't want to say just you and me, but I think the women that we know, we are creative, we're tech savvy, like we are, do it ourselves, like can figure it out kind of women. And I think that there's a lot of women out there who are that way, and that's the new norm. So let's do it. Let's not have, menopause or like weight or anything like holding us back. I think we can all help each other and be better women for it.
In talking to, I've recorded 9 episodes so far. It just seems like everybody's just ready to talk about it. One of the things that I always get asked, and I feel like when I bring guests on, this is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, what's in your skincare bag? Because I feel like everybody has something different, because there's so many products out there now that talking about skincare is super important. So you didn't know I was going to ask you this. What are your skincare routine?
Okay, so my skincare routine now is probably the best it's ever been in my whole life. I've always been horrible about like washing my face at night and taking off my makeup. I just have. And I have like people comment, I just saw a friend that I haven't seen in like 10 years and they were like, you look the same as when you were in college. Like what the heck? And the thing I do consistently is a sunscreen and a really good moisturizer. So like I love the oil based, we use Prakash Organics, heavier or lighter depending on the season, but it's like an oil serum like moisturizer. And then at night I love to use, well, first of all, I take off my makeup now, so just like basic.
I 80% of the time take my makeup off. 80%.
Yeah, especially like the eye makeup, because that just it just gets all over. And then I use the OSEA, I'm gonna forget the name of it, the nighttime serum. So I started using like some kind of,
is it the purple one?
It's the purple one.
Okay, it's the green bioretinol.
It's like it's a bioretinol. So because of you, I started using like some kind of retinol product, and so I'll kind of switch up what it is. And usually that's at night, and it's like every other night. And then I'll do like a nighttime moisturizer of some kind of probably on top of that. But because we're in Central Oregon, it's like so dry. I find myself just really needing that moisturizer, and then water. Like drink your water. I know it's not a skincare product, but like it affects everything else. So.
I don't have my water right here right now, and I'm probably gonna be hurting for it later. Like water used to be so easy for me to drink, and I don't know what it is. Ever since I've been on a GLP-1, it's been really hard to drink. And I was putting electrolytes in it, and then I saw like you really should only drink electrolytes. You shouldn't drink electrolytes every day. You should only drink electrolytes when you work out. So if you work out, drink your electrolytes, and your creatine you should take every day anyways.
And then collagen, I also started doing collagen in my coffee in the morning.
What collagen brand do you use?
So I use the, hold on, let me find it. Is it Garden of Life?
So I did tell you that because that's what I used to take. And now I take the Thorne Collagen Plus with NAD in it.
Okay.
And I feel like that has helped my nails and my hair. Like I notice it if I don't take it. I notice if I don't take it that it's...
Yeah, I'll have to...
But the Garden of Life is great. Like that's the one, our mutual friend, Hadi Prakash, like that's the one she does.
Yeah.
But then I read that also it's like the one I take is like $50 some.
Yeah.
But I swear it works.
Well, that's what I'm after. Like I do notice if I don't take it. I remember I ran out of it, or I went out of town or something. I didn't take any with me, and then I came back and it had been like 5 days of not taking collagen, and I was sore everywhere. And I was like, what the heck? Like my joints were sore and stuff, and I could tell like my hair was like flat and stuff. It was just really weird. I was like, okay, this is doing something. So yeah, collagen. The other thing that's always in my makeup, like skincare routine, is some kind of like lip balm. And I'm very particular about my lip balm. It cannot be minty or like scented. It has to be like unscented, unflavored, just moisture. That's just my weird little neurotic thing. Because then if I go like take a drink of water, I don't like the taste of it in my mouth. But anyway.
So do you not have a growth factor in your...
Growth factor? I don't. Not right now. I think I have so many products at home too. Like I could probably work one in.
You have so much access to it because you share an office with somebody that gets little products like every day. So
and like we have spa clients. Yeah. So
well, the spa client. Yeah. That's another one too. I have to say, like, I really like the DRMTLGY, like, vegan growth factor. And I used to take the AQ Solutions growth factor as one of the highest rated ones. And I also had the Skin Medica one that's $300. I didn't buy it. It was gifted to me. And I really liked that one. But I did it side by side with the dermatology one for a month, and I didn't notice a difference. Like,
yeah.
Actually, if anything, like my 11s on my forehead got better. They're not really getting rid of the little frown lines, but on my forehead. But I would add a growth factor, and that one's pretty inexpensive. It's like $70. Like the Skin Medica one's $300, and that is the top on the market. A more reasonable one is the AQ Solutions, but
The AQ. And then do you do that morning or night?
I do it morning and night, but before in my routine, I used to only do it at night. And then I do it both morning and night. You're too young, though. I know people that are in their mid-40s doing the estrogen cream on their face.
Yeah, I've heard about that, and I'm like, I will try that, but I'm gonna wait maybe a little bit. And then the other one I like is that Needleless serum.
And that growth factor is called the Needleless Growth Factor Serum. It's like
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, that Needleless
like
serum is great. I just like can't use 8 million products at night, so I was like, which one am I gonna use? And I used that one. I haven't been using tretinoin. I was using tretinoin, but then I was going to Mexico, so I stopped. I asked like how long you need to wait, and they were like, stop it a month before, and so now I gotta get back into doing it. The other thing that I've been really into is hyaluronic acid body serums.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So my favorite one is the one by Musely, the glossy.
Yes.
So you take a shower, and when you get out of the shower, because that's the best time to put lotion on, you put the hyaluronic body serum on, and then you put lotion, and then I notice that my skin is definitely staying, it's not drying. There's also one by OSEA that I really like. I think there's a...
Is it green?
It's green.
I've used that one.
I don't know the price point of the Musely's, but the Musely's one I think is a little less expensive than, I know it's less expensive than the one from OSEA. But then I saw that Salt Air had one, and I've been testing that one out. So I have, like, the jury's not in yet on that one, but I've been testing that hyaluronic body serum. There's only, I went and did a search online, and there's not very many out there. It's like, those are the three.
Yeah.
There might be others, but they weren't by like companies that I recognize. But the Musely's one was how I got into it, as I did a whole bunch of UGC for them, and I was like, this stuff is amazing. And then you basically put it on before your lotion.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to mention too is, because you mentioned the thing that you do after the shower, I've been using that OSEA body oil instead of lotion. So I'll get out of the shower and I do that all over, and I have noticed like such a difference in my skin. So one thing that happened to me after we moved here, but then definitely after pregnancy and now like into my early 40s, is my skin gets really dry, and it will get like patchy, that like almost like rough spots. And I went to the dermatologist because I was nervous that it was like pre-cancerous or something, or like gonna be moles and stuff. And they basically said, no, it's fine. It's dry skin, and like you need to use lotion. And I'm like,
It's perimenopause.
yeah. Now I'm like, oh, duh. Because I got a bunch of OSEA stuff from you. I started using the OSEA exfoliator like all over.
I was just going to say, is it the salt one or is it the polish? Because they have two.
Oh, I think it's a polish. It's probably whichever one you didn't.
So the polish is great. Now we went down the rabbit hole of products.
I
The
know.
polish is great for exfoliating the skin, but I go between those two all the time. So the one I really like is called Salts of the Earth by OSEA, and it has an oil in it.
Oh, okay.
So
No, this
you're
one is the
polishing
polish.
your body, and you're getting off the dry skin, and you're oiling your body, but then I still do the hyaluronic body serum, and then I do the OSEA oil. If I'm out of the OSEA oil, I will use the Prakash Organics Nectar.
Yeah, Nectar is
Pretty much the same thing.
it's amazing. Yeah.
It's the main.
But yeah, I've noticed a difference with, I need to exfoliate more, and then like a hydrating oil like that has been the trick for me, and then that dry itchy patchiness goes away.
Yeah, I used to really worry about like, I'm putting all this stuff on my skin, and then the skin's our biggest organ, but it's like, if you put good stuff on, I think you're fine. I don't know, I go back and forth. The old like eco-friendly blogger in me comes out, and it's like, am I causing harm by putting all this on?
Oh, I know. I was like very crunchy, making my own body products and my own, I still will do that sometimes, but like if it's a product that, you know, has really good ingredients like Prakash or like OSEA or any of those, and then my skin feels better, like after, like I can really tell that it's lasting, it's working, it's, you know, feeling good, then I don't have any problem with it. But yeah, I am excited to listen to all of your episodes and to hear all the things that the Darlenes of the world need to hear. So
Well, we have, I can give you kind of a quick review. We talk about GLP-1s and in your 40s. We talk about plastic surgery. We talk about your skincare routine. We talk about myths around menopause. We also bring on people that are highlighting like women as well, and things like job loss. I'm gonna have somebody come and talk about, all the fun cosmetic things you can do, some of the up and coming things, and that's just like off the top of the head. I can think about empty nesting, empty nest is like really big on my mind right now.
Yeah.
Especially it was on my mind. I just got back from Mexico and spending 5 days with my husband, which I absolutely love, but I'm like, oh wow, this is what's gonna be like in 4 years.
Better get that libido up when we drop the filter.
Well, thank you, Darlene, for being on. Perfect way to end.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to Over 50 and Frank. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd follow the show, leave a review, or share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. You can find links, resources, and everything we talked about in the show notes. I'm Shannon, and I'll be back next week with more candid conversations about style, wellness, and life after 50.